He just collapsed. And then he passed on. I could have taken the initiative and say, okay,
Let me do this.
life cover is extreme, but let's do funeral policies. Let's do, I think as women as well, we can do better, meaning taking things into our own hands. It was very hard, very hard, but also eye-opening. I also had days where I feel like, why can't I be with him?
Hello, family. Welcome again to A Space to Breathe. We are now in episode 4, actually. Oh, my goodness.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much, really, for subscribing, liking, sharing, commenting. We can't wait to get those questions. Today, we have a special guest. She's a friend, my support system on this journey. And we are going to talk about our spouses. That it's a very sad thing, but it's about our spouses gone with their legacy. Friend, Zandra. Her name is Zandra, guys. Isn't that a beautiful name? Welcome to A Space to Breathe.
Thank you.
This is the platform where we talk about anything that widows encounter. We are here to empower our fellow widows, how they can manage life, how they can go deal with the challenges, actually navigating this complex life. And I just want to give you the platform to introduce yourself. Tell us, how did you... I say it's an unwanted title, and yes. I've kept it that way. It's an unwanted title.
True.
So tell us, how did you get to be, to wear this unwanted title? So who is Zandra? Where is she coming from? What does she do? All of that.
Okay, my name is Zandra Sehau. Yes. I'm a widow, and it's sad to say at times, but it's my reality. My husband and I met in 2012. Very nice marriage, but you know, all marriages have their issues. Have their challenges,
yes,
and everything else that comes with it. Yeah. Unfortunately, he passed away in 2018. Okay, and that was really such a difficult thing. But before I start there, I'd like to also just formally introduce myself.
Yes.
Okay, Zandra Sehau. I'm self-employed, so I'm a business owner. Yes. I have a company called Nkezo Industrial Mining Solutions. Okay. So. Established now.
Yes.
Because we need to learn to do it, because
yes.
it's 2018,
yeah.
It's 2025, so it means it's literally almost 7 years. It's 7 years, no?
Ah, my friend, you're counting the numbers. 2025 minus what?
2018.
2018, that's how many?
It's no, it's not. It's 7.
7 years.
Yeah,
oh, my
goodness. 7th
year
this year. Yeah.
Sure, it's 7 years.
Already. So it's a lot better now. But it was very tough in the beginning.
Sure.
Because, you know, these things humble you.
Yeah, they do.
Properly. So, now things are a bit better. But like you say, today we're going to go through the process of when it started, how it happened, and everything like that.
And I think it's important to really dwell into the fact that how... Now, you've already said you had a great marriage with all the challenges that you guys experienced. I mean, marriage has got its own things, guys. I'm going to rose the honeymoon phase come and it goes.
Yes, there were serious challenges
Serious challenges there.
Yes.
They are there all the time.
Yes.
But I believe that God helped you guys to maneuver around it, you know. And sadly, he had to take him.
Yes.
Now, take us through at the point when God said, I'm taking him. What happened?
You know, it was a Friday morning, and he passed. It was a Friday morning, and he had passed on. He just collapsed, and then he passed on. I think when it happens, you're in disbelief, and there's so much noise around you that you kind of zone out, and you think, I'm going to wake up and things are going to be better. and it's just a dream. But the reality of it, it's not.
Sure.
And I think for me, the biggest moment is when you have to go identify the body. And we think we're young.
Eish.
And we think certain things we'll never experience. And then when you have to go through that, you realize, I'm an adult now.
Yeah.
Properly.
Yeah.
Fully an adult now. Because that forces you to be an adult. So even that, and I think the other issue I only realized is when he passed on is that the conversations about funeral policies, life cover, he was a Sotho man. So, there is that belief that, oh no, you want a life cover. you want to kill me.
So, I've said it before on the previous episodes, by the way, to say that was quite... I'm sorry, maybe just to quickly... That was one of the challenges as well.
Yes.
Coming from me. And he's Zulu. So it's a cultural thing. It's a black thing. So it's got nothing to do with being Zulus. It's the main thing, our black men having to feel that, hey, uzongibulala lo mfazi, uzongibulala lo mfazi.
So it was a bit of a challenge for me because I'm the wife, irrespective of our differences, irrespective of our challenges in our marriage. Even maybe at the time, if we were not talking, I'm just saying, we had our issues. It's my responsibility to bury my husband. And I think at that time, it was more a thing of, what now? What now? Because I'm the wife. I need to go bury this person. Okay, unfortunately, at the time, he had funeral policies, but they had lapsed.
What caused it to lapse? What did he do? What kind of a business was he in?
He was an artist, so he was an opera singer. So yes,
I think it's important to say it, friends, so that our fellow viewers can understand that certain industries or occupations professions have certain impact as an individual. Because for someone who is an artist, an income it doesn't come through every month.
Yes, it is.
It doesn't come every day. It has to go with gigs at the situation. So sometimes if there's a dry season, then there's no income.
Yes. But I wish we could have had better conversations. I think, unfortunately, life is like this. Life only when something ends, do you see it for what it is, or you feel, oh, I could have done that differently. So I think we could have had those conversations, even though he was stubborn at times. I could have forced, or I could have taken the initiative and say, okay,
let me do this.
Life cover is extreme, but let's do funeral policies. Let's do, I think, as women as well, we can do better, meaning taking things into our own hands, even if it is difficult, because Obaba is the head of the family. But at the same time, I find that us as women, we are affected.
Big time.
Because remember, I think the advantage with me is, like I've always been self-employed. But what about a woman who maybe the husband says, don't work?
Yes.
Don't work.
Stay at home.
And then you find the person stays at home, but when he passes away,
there's nothing.
Who takes care of that wife?
Guys.
Because remember also, I think even I felt like after he passed on is like the conversation we could have had. You know that thing, if you can have a second chance to sit down with somebody, even if they've passed on, to say, what now? You've accustomed me to this type of life. And now you're not here. Now I need to maneuver myself. But if we had financial planning in it, it could have been just continuing. I'm not saying money is everything.
Yeah.
But the harsh reality about this life is that it assists with lots of things. You could actually say, okay, maybe there's a bond that needs to be paid. You get what I'm saying?
There's
maybe
cars that need to be
cars,
there's
kids,
loans, there's kids.
You get what I'm saying? So I think if we can get to a point maybe where we don't focus so much on the narrative of saying, oh, you're going to kill me, you're going to do this. But and also the love, because I think love blinds us so much.
It does blind us.
It is.
I was blinded by love.
God, I was blinded by love. Sometimes also you look at it and you're like, oh.
Can you imagine me, the whole profession, the whole certified financial planner,
yes.
being blinded by love?
But remember, it's submission.
Yeah,
Remember when we get married,
Yes,
even it doesn't
yes.
matter who you are,
Yeah.
what you do,
Yes.
but you're submitting to a husband that is worthy of that submission.
Jesus.
It is, because you can't submit to just anything.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So if that husband is worthy of it, and then you say, let me give him the benefit of the doubt. But I feel like women are suffering so much. Because in that time, I was like, oh, what now?
What now?
You get what I'm saying? And at the time, my business was doing okay, but not great. And, you know, I sat, and that day, like the Friday, I sat and I was praying, and I said, God, you know what? I have this issue now. There's no funeral policies, it's not, and I need to bury my husband.
Oh. Irrespective of whatever.
Of the noise.
Yes.
He's my husband.
Yes. And everybody's looking at you.
Yes, and I remember at that time I had, I think about like money coming in from a client that I was waiting for. And I prayed and I said, God, if you can give me this money, if that client, because you know, self business clients can make you wait.
Go out,
God,
we issue them, but they never get paid.
Oh God, tell me about it.
Yes.
So, and I said, if this can come in, it would actually help me. You get what I'm saying? And then I'll do this. I'll close my eyes. We'll deal with everything afterwards. But can you hear what I'm saying to you? I'm saying at that time, I needed to. I was going to use the money from. The last money that's going to come in to do this. But I'm going to do it, then what happens afterwards? And I think that's the reality of this. And I think sometimes as well, because you know what, can I be honest with you? And I hope it's no offense to anybody, but people come to funerals, friends, everybody, and then they talk. Don't worry, after this, you'll be sorted, we'll be there for you, we'll take care of you, you're never alone, and then you don't see them anywhere after.
Even a phone call,
Hey.
When you call, they no longer answer.
Yes.
Mina, I've got his friends.
Yes.
The very same friends that assisted me. Some of them they're still there, and I'm very grateful for them that they're still here. But the very closest one, where I thought this one is the one that knows it all.
Yes.
He's the one that was able to tell the other friends to say, umngani wethu doesn't have anything.
Yes.
And the only person who's really making a plan is this wife.
Yes.
The very same person that you would think ukuthi bazokulwela.
Yes. And look here. I don't mean to be funny. But
I don't mean to be funny as well. I know what you mean.
Yes. But I think I was grateful with him because I didn't know how prominent my husband was. I must be honest.
Yeah.
And the type of friends he had. People he knew. I remember at the time the premier came to his house to come see him. And I remember there's taxi associations, like the big bosses. They came and they're like, here. But you know why that happened. And I need to be honest. It's because I submitted. Remember, when I heard he had passed on, I was willing to give the last I have to bury him. But then God said, because you are willing to submit. Remember, God works like, he does work like that. He says, because you are willing to give
and submit
the last
that you have.
Yes, I'll help you. Do you know that I never even used, and I don't want to lie, I never even used any of my own money. Everybody came. I remember even the actual funeral, there was a provider that came and said, no, we'll do everything, the casket, everything. And he had an amazing, honestly, you were there.
It was amazing.
For a king.
Yeah.
And it was nice, but afterwards, then you realize, I could have done this differently.
Yes.
I honestly, and I'm saying, you know, death is something that visits us all. Yeah. It's something that you never can get used to. You can never say, not me. Because if not you, then who? So it's something that's going to happen. So I would also say, you know, let's have open conversations, guys.
Let's learn to have the
yes.
Because the problem is that we are scared.
Oh, we are. And I am bold now. But in my marriage, I felt like I'm submitting.
Yes.
So
and Ubaba yes. He must the husband must be the one that guides me.
Yes, he's in front.
He's in front and you get what I'm saying. Following. Yo.
But I also think as much as we are saying today, and even me, I'm saying, if we should be having these conversations, but they shouldn't come with disrespect. Because that submission should still be there, but only for a worthy candidate.
Yes.
Because you can't be submitting to just but also we should be having these honest conversations, having them and saying, and I think, and I pray for you as well, and I pray that you get to a stage where you can have these conversations with, like, the everyday people as well, women that are in the village or somewhere that are also going through the same thing, because they have it the hardest, because remember.
A guy is married.
Yes.
Ushiya unkosikazi ekhaya.
Yes.
Bese kuba nomunye ngale egoli.
Isithembu
sikhona. Ezinye zillegal, ezinye azikho legal, but by default somebody can prove ukuthi I've been staying with this person. Ukuthi what's going to happen and all of those things. Now awusekho wena.
Yes.
There's no money.
Yes.
We did not have that funeral policy. We didn't have that life cover.
Or you had kids
that
you were taking care of. Now they say, "Mama ukhona."
Mama ukhona.
Which is, yes.
Yo.
Yes. But I also think the advantage, I'm just saying, is I also realized, because I must be honest, he had a child, and the mother and I, we women are. We don't even know why.
Yeah.
But it's just not.
But
when he passed on,
it's
amazing. After that, we became the greatest of friends. And we held each other's hand. And
wow, that's beautiful.
We raised the child together. It's like, whatever you need, I'm here. You get what I'm saying? Because I also said, irrespective.
You opened up as well.
Yes, and I said, irrespective of what happened, it's his child. Yeah. And now that he's passed on, it becomes my child. Even now, wherever I can, I still am there for her. And I say to you, you're my child. You get what I'm saying?
It's not going to change because now you're no longer here.
Yes.
Now I'm no longer taking the responsibility.
But can you see what a woman carries? Can you see what is left behind for her? The responsibilities that you can't shift. You can't say, oh, not me.
Because what's also mom?
Yeah, boy.
Yes. As much as mom, but also mom.
Yes.
So now, mama, why are you not taking care of me?
Yes.
And now, with the business now, how is the business now? I mean, it's already 7 years.
Yes.
And I'm sure, obviously, after what happened, you had to go through a recovery period.
Big time.
Yeah, you say big time. Maybe let's go deeper to that big time.
I don't want to lie, it's big time because it's the reality of it. And also, I need to brag about my husband. He had his flaws, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Yes. But he was a man that he didn't want you to see you. Like, you have that. He's like, must have that.
Yes.
Why does Nonhlanhla have that and Zandra doesn't have it? So he was that type of guy. So he did everything. He took care of everything. The cars, the houses, everything. And after that, it was like, everything is like, then you're sitting, you're like, what now? And you know what the reality is? And I saw, and I think it's the most painful thing is, after he passed, like, everything is breaking in the house now. Everything is breaking.
I was crying because of the door that decided to break. I was crying.
And you're like,
and I'm holding on to that door, and I'm like,
yes.
I was just holding to the door. You know, as if I'm praying to the door to fix itself, but the door is broken.
Yes.
And I'm like, to fix it. So what are you doing?
You know, and I said, I don't know what is happening, but everything is breaking. Everything, and I don't know. And you feel useless. But also then you realize how much, and I want to put it politely, how much of, power is not a right word, but how much of everything you give to the next person, how relaxed we are. And I think it varies from woman to woman.
Is it natural because they're the head?
It is, but you only realize afterwards that there are certain things that there needs to be a balance. Because also,
we rely so much on them.
Yes.
Especially the fact that when they avail themselves at that support system.
No, yeah. I don't want to lie. I don't want to lie. You know, my husband was that guy.
Yeah.
No, he had his issues, but when times were good, he was that guy.
Yeah.
You know that guy where you're like, I can rely on this
24/7, he's there.
It's like, oh, this is happening, he stops everything.
Yeah.
He's there. Yes.
And now it's a matter of he's not here.
Yes.
And now you're navigating this life.
Yes.
And you've played the recovery. How was it? How long did it take you to recover? I know businesses are different and they've got its own challenges itself, but
Yes.
just from your experience and what you do.
I think it was tough.
Yeah.
Because I can be honest as well, I got lazy to an extent as well with my business because he was there. And sometimes he would do some of the stuff for the business as well. So I got very relaxed. You get so now after that it was like, this is my only plan.
I
need to
you
now
have no
wake
other
up.
way now.
I need to push. So it was very hard. Very hard. But also eye-opening. I think sometimes as well, God, like, even like our ancestors, they work in a different way where certain things happens for you personally to open your eyes as well. And I always say, if it happens again, I'd do it differently, 100%. You know why? So that I don't find myself. It was nice to have that,
Yeah.
but when it's gone, it's the worst.
Yeah.
It's the worst.
And maybe let's go more on the different to say, what are these things? Maybe you can give us key pointers. What are these specific things that you say you would do different?
Like I say, have those conversations, right? But also be more independent in the marriage, not
just say
in a disrespectful
full
way,
manner, yeah.
but also knowing that Zandra is an individual. My husband is an individual, and together we come and we complement each other. So it means that I have my own purpose, he has his own purpose, and together we make each other better. But not in a way where how I was doing it is that my husband is everything and I'm under him, and it's just like that. And I realized it's nice. It was comfortable. But when this happened, when death happened, I realized, what now?
Now you must carry everything now.
So I think as women as well, we need to also stand up, and do certain things on our own. And at the same time, respect your husband. You get what I'm saying? But there's a lot, like I say, when it comes to funeral policies, like we spoke about. When it comes to business as well, I think I would do it differently, as in do it on my own and have him do his own, and then we can complement each other. Instead of he was doing most of mine as well.
Well, he was a support system. Come on, now, so it made it easy.
It did.
Yeah.
But also I got too comfortable.
I must confess. I mean, I went to do the very same thing. Same thing. And here I am now. I'm at the recovery stage.
Yeah, it's still early.
And it's still very early.
Yes.
And it's
Long
rough.
way to go.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's rough.
Yes.
And now I'm like, my husband would go and open any door for me to get business. Like he would go any door.
High five. My husband was like Isaac can call the president.
He would go to any door and he will push for business.
Yes.
And here's me now. Now I'm like, where do I go? Who do I talk to? And I didn't. You see, the worst part for me is to say, I wish he taught me the skill.
Thank you.
Because that skill that he had, it could now carry me to continue. As much as I'm working on continuing, it's not like I'm going to stop.
Yes.
But now I have to learn. It's either maybe I'm going to learn this thing, the skill that he has of being able to access the market,
or outsource it.
Or outsource it. Yes. One of the two must happen. And right now I'm sitting, I'm like, Pela, outsourcing has a fee.
Yes.
It doesn't just happen.
Yes.
And I'm like, okay, maybe not now, outsourcing. Maybe now I must just learn. Slowly.
But can you see?
Now the bills are not coming in slowly.
Exactly. But what I'm saying, can you see that? It could have been something that... But you don't know. We never know until after. But that's also, you see, another lesson to say, he could have taught me that. Yeah. Or we could have done it together. Yeah. Then even, I think we should get to a point where doesn't matter what happens, you are still able to sustain yourself. You are still able to stand. Yeah, there's one door that's closed, but you're still able to go. Compared to, I think, with me as well, everything just closed. Like even like you say
Yeah.
with you as well, everything's closed, you're stuck.
Like right now, I'm like, okay, where am I going to go? Who am I going to speak to? And remember, all our businesses, any other businesses, whenever you're selling anything or whatever, there's anything,
same thing.
it's all about relationships.
And it's continuously getting up, getting customers, getting this. It's not like something you can sit down and say, oh, I got that. It's coming in 24 months. No.
Yeah, and I'm fine.
Yes.
And now we must constantly wake up and so now take me through the process where now the grief does not stop, Zandra.
Oh.
The grief does not stop.
Yeah.
Here you are working on recovery, but here's the grief.
And you know what the thing is, and I think us women be so brave.
Yeah.
Like we can do this, because look at you, like
Well,
you're grieving.
You're convincing me, by the way.
You're grieving.
You're the one that's convincing
no,
me.
I did the same. You're grieving, but you still get up and you still need to go do stuff. And I had my outfit on.
I had to this morning.
Yes.
I'm like,
and people are always asking, I'm like, my husband, but I still need to go. And I think it's a bit sad as well, because I think sometimes maybe there are people maybe who've planned it better, that have the advantage to just sit and cry. But you don't have the opportunity to do that because you're like, hey, I need to.
the bills are piling up.
Yes.
Expenses are just saying, hey,
And like I say, even if you had issues in your marriage, I'm just saying, separations, it's still your husband.
Yeah.
And death is still something that it affects you, because you're
Whichever
like,
way.
oh my God, you get what I'm saying? Maybe we could have done that different. We could have done that. It affects you so much. But the reality is, it's like you tell yourself, at least I said, Zandra, you know what? Nobody cares. And it's not nice to say, but nobody cares.
Sure.
People can be there, they can comfort you, but people are not going to pay your bills.
No.
People are not going to take care of those that he left behind that needs to be taken care of.
No.
It's your responsibility. So you can choose, somebody was saying the other day to me, life is so difficult, but what do you expect me to do? To sit in a corner and cry? Because even after I've cried, I still need to get up and do something. So let me rather just get up and do it.
And I think maybe that's one of the things that I have to deal with every morning.
Yes.
Because in the morning, you're waking up in an empty bed. You're looking at that pillow.
Yes.
You've got a child that needs to go to school.
Yes.
So sometimes I ignore that pillow and I rush out.
Yes.
So that I can deal with my daughter so that she can go to school. And then you are coming back because now you need to prepare.
Yes.
There's a specific routine that you guys had.
Yes.
To a certain degree, my husband, you also like taking out clothes for me. He's like, today I feel like you must wear like this.
Yes.
Especially based on the meeting that he had set up.
Yes.
I feel like you must dress up like this.
Yes, yes.
And there'll be time when I'm like, what am I wearing? Yes. Because that's that
person that used to prepare that and do that.
And one of the things is one somehow I feel that it seemed like God did whisper to my husband that he was going to leave.
Because he silently prepared you. And
Because he silently, didn't see.
No, you don't.
I didn't see it.
You don't.
I didn't see it.
You don't.
What was the worst part? Is that before he started getting really, really sick, he was sick, but when he started getting really bad, you know what he did? Because he used to iron my clothes.
Yes.
Don't
worry.
Yes.
Mine used to do the washing, like the dishes, everything.
He used to love the ironing.
Yes.
And he decided to buy a steamer.
Mm-hmm.
He bought it, I stand corrected, but I think he bought it 2 months or 3 months prior to his death.
Yes.
He went, and I was fighting with him. I'm like, why are you wasting money buying a steamer? I mean, you can iron, you can do this. Why are you buying a steamer? He's like, no, man, sometimes I think it's going to be easy and quick. Whenever you just get a call now and you need to go and you just need to steam and you go. But it didn't make sense to me at that time.
There's a lot as well for me.
And it is the small things that I'm sitting and I'm like, you were actually buying because you knew that you're going to leave. Yes. So you had to prepare me because you knew that I don't like ironing.
I also don't like
so at the same time, I'm like... And each and every time when I hold that steamer, I cry my lungs out.
Yes.
I cry my lungs out. I'm like, Why did you? If some, it was even a point where I feel like I could just take this thing and hit it by the horn. Because I'm like,
yes. And also, it's very cowardice to think this, but I also had days where I feel like, why can't I be with him? Why can't you just do that for me?
I've
why can't
asked myself that.
why should I be left alone and deal with this? Why can't I just? But the reality of it is, I remember the place we stayed in. Like, I remember the one day I just couldn't breathe. I promise you, I couldn't breathe. Like, it was.
There's this thing, Zandra, you can't breathe.
I can't. I actually wanted to get a tattoo. I survived, with that date. I'll never forget it. I think it was 20 June 2018. During the funeral, I don't know, there was something in me that was saying, we're not breaking down.
Yeah.
We're not crying.
Yeah.
We've got work to do.
Yeah. Everything is looking at you.
Everything is looking at you.
Yes.
We're just doing it.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, you're so okay. And I'm like, they don't know.
Yeah.
But it's like everything. Like,
I need to get
everything
this
is
funeral
okay.
going.
Yes,
It
I
must
remember
happen.
the day
Yeah.
when they came with the coffin to the house, and I went to look at him. And the tear, something says, Somebody was like, no, it's not time for that. You get what I'm saying? We need to do this. But I found that a month later, because that passed away in May, so June the 20th, I couldn't breathe. Like, I felt like my whole world's falling apart, and I felt like I'm going to die. And I couldn't breathe. I couldn't do it. Friends were like, yeah, but you guys had your issues, and there was this and there was that. And I said, it was still my husband.
It was not going to change that he was
It's
my
still
husband.
my husband. It's still my husband. Even if he
Yes.
did this, even if he did that, I did that, it was still my husband. And friend, I couldn't breathe. And then you know what I did? And I said to myself, you know what, you're not coping. Leave this place. I packed up that same night and I went to my mother and I said, let me just stay here for
a while. Yeah.
so that I can regain. Because that house, it's too familiar.
Everything's a trigger.
Everything is a trigger.
Everything is a trigger. Every single time.
Everything is too much.
Yeah.
And I also feel like, I'm not saying people are insensitive, but people are coming and saying, you're going to be okay. Just get up and go. But inside, it's like, how?
Yeah.
How? Remember, this is new to me. The other day, it's off topic, but I was looking at my mother, and sometimes we can be very hard on our mothers. And I was looking at her and I said, oh my God, this is new to her. She's never been a mother before. Like, you've never been a widow before, so you wouldn't know how. And I think for some people, like, just get up and go, and and even if we talk morning periods as well, it's like also, it's like, I'm not, my husband and I had issues, but he was my husband. And some side of them is like, why would you want a person like that? He's my husband. And I need to do right by his family. Because
and by him. Because that's what I said on the pulpit today.
Yes.
When we say, I do.
Yes.
You said thick and thin.
Yes.
And now, yes, you said until death do us apart.
So you see, what also happens is the family also becomes a challenge. Because remember, people look at your husband from one point, but remember, being married is a calling.
Yeah.
Being a widow is a calling. We don't choose it.
Oh,
it's
we don't
just
choose
there.
it.
So you can't say, even when my husband passed away, and I was like, what now? This, that. But I spoke to somebody and like phone the person, says, it's your husband, go bury him. It is.
It is.
It's your husband. It's your responsibility. You said till death do us part. Here's that death. Go.
Here's this death.
And I think also we don't realize the impact it has. You get what I'm saying? Even when you're standing there and you're like, I need to do this. Irrespective of the issues, of the drama, of the challenges.
Whatever you
everything that comes with.
Whatever you had experienced.
Yeah. And I think it's also a little unfair towards women because we have to take so much. So much. And at that time, nobody cares. It's like, no. Yeah. And even I remember a friend of mine said afterwards, because I went in front and I was talking, and there's a lady that was sitting behind and she says, why is she not crying? It was a husband. And I said, you see how people can judge you?
Yeah.
People also have a way of how they want you to behave. Even you sitting here, some people will be like, why are you sitting there?
Yes,
This is supposed to be at home. But times have changed.
Yeah.
And the reality of it is there's certain things that we have to do.
Yeah.
And also grieving is different. Even when I took off, because at least his family, they did right by me. They took it off, they cleansed me, we slaughtered, and we did all of that. It's the pain didn't go away.
There is the pain that didn't go away, my friend. Right now, I'm actually preparing for that ceremony as well.
Yes, yeah.
It's going to happen soon. And I at the same time, I hear a bit of excitement around family members, even from his side as well. Oh, Makote, Mane, no, this is going to be great. We are kumula mtanami.
Yes.
Kuzolunga mtanami.
Yes.
All of that. I'm like, but I think I'm going to wake up to that pillow.
Yes.
He's not going to be there.
But also the expenses. It is. It is. It is.
Yeah.
It's the reality of it, I find. It's the reality of it. And so if we can do better as women, just somehow protect ourselves. Love is beautiful, but also at the same time, plan better, so that you can be able to navigate life if things like this happen. I'm not saying, nobody sits and say, oh, my husband, but the reality is we're not going to live forever.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Yeah.
So we can just plan better. I think that's...
And when you talk about planning, most of us, some people have funeral policies. But it is the whole process what it costs, because having to have a funeral policy in Jake Pelly said, I've got a 30,000 policy is fine.
Yes.
At least I've got something.
Yes.
The question is that have you given yourself an opportunity to assess?
What that 30,000 will
cover.
Will it be enough? And I have somebody, I hear people say, I know people will bury me.
Yes,
I don't need it.
Yeah, people will bury me.
Yeah, people will bury me.
With what?
With what?
With what? Because things are expensive as you're sitting here. There's this expense that I even said on my previous episode to say the expense of sustaining people during that week because they're coming to stay with you.
Yes.
There's groceries that need to be bought.
Yes.
There's coffees and teas and cakes and everything else that comes there. Fair enough, you do get some of the family members that will bring in some of the cakes and whatever not. But it is still an expense because you still have to buy some of that.
What about the status of the person? And also what is expected.
Oh, the status of the person.
And what is expected. Because remember, you can't just now, unfortunately, and people don't get this. It is. The status of the person. And
that's one of the things that was sitting at the back of my mind, because I said
you can't just have something mediocre. Yes. Same here.
So
yes,
you're just gonna do things as got 30,000 and you think it's fine.
Yes. And I know people say, "Oh, it's just a funeral." I get it, but remember, it's the expectations that are placed by society.
Yes.
On those that are left behind,
and we made them the norm.
Yes.
It's a norm. And now they are going to be looking at you.
Yes, saying,
imagine getting me now.
Yes. And if your husband was there, yes.
Now they're looking at this thing now.
Yeah.
So we must actually sit down. And I think this is one of the important things that I really want to share with the viewers today. And say, viewers, woman to woman. Gumnandi kaya. Yonke into ihamba kahle abantwana ba right yonke into ihamba kahle.
Yes,
asilungiseni.
Yes, 100%.
Let's get our family affairs in order.
Yes.
Let's help our husbands to prepare better and not live with their legacies.
Yes,
because that's where the biggest challenge is coming at.
Yes,
to say they leave us with all these challenges. Yes. We are carrying all of these things and we are now stuck. To a certain degree, honestly speaking, right now, I feel stuck. Because it's a skill that I still need to learn.
Yes.
There's expenses that I need to maintain.
Yes.
There's a business that I need to run.
And you need to breathe. Just breathing. I also think an advantage, I think what I also do better now is now I have a file. As simple as it is, a file that has everything in it. Because even I can die now. and the people that are behind, at least if I've told everybody, here's the file, funeral policy, life policy, everything.
Oh, you are talking my language then.
Everything is in there that says, in the event of me passing, this is what I want. Even a will should be in there.
Yes.
If you need a trust,
Yes.
it should be in there.
Yes.
Like all of that should be there. And it's a file that's accessible to everybody.
Yeah.
So when you die, because when my husband died, like there's nothing. You're like,
how do you get at these things?
And you know what? It's luckily for us, there was not a lot of parties involved, meaning this was my brother's deal.
Yes, my brother's deal. Yes,
that type of thing. So,
yeah.
But
so you were
what
lucky
about
on
those
that.
that
Yeah, what
have
if they have that with
what about a woman that actually moved in with the husband? I'm just saying, and into the husband's mother's house.
Yes,
just saying.
Yeah,
and now.
The husband is gone.
Yes.
And
what happens to the wife?
We actually touched on that on episode 3.
Yes.
Legally so, because
yes.
I brought in an attorney to
yes.
touch on those kind of things.
Yes.
But it is the truth, really, to say, what are those things?
Yes.
How do you make sure that now because now you're an outsider.
Yes.
But I figure, we're saying there's the lady that was there. It's called her name. The name of her show is called Mamulao.
Yes.
And we were talking about that, and so to say, they're gonna come in and say, this is my mother's house.
Yes. What are you going to do?
Your sister's-in-law.
Yes.
Got the girl.
Yes. But if we have those conversations, like I say, when I say we can do better, is have those conversations, but also put it down on paper.
Yeah.
Let's sign it. We're not going to kill each other, but we are bettering each other so that our legacies can live on. Because remember, legacy is everything. It's a nice transition to know that, okay, yes, he's passed on, but we are able to do this. We are able to do that. It makes it easier because then you can grieve. But now, honestly, if you look at it, you don't even have time to grieve now. Yes.
And you are sitting here, you're like, okay, so now I've cried. Now
get yourself together.
Get together, put yourself together, and now you need to leave the house and go hustle. Come back and wear that, and come back now. You can then come and cry again. But you spoke about an important document here, Zandra. Luckily, again,
yes,
from Esteemed Financial Solutions. As you are aware, that I'm the founder of Esteemed Financial Solutions. We've created a book, and it's called the Book of Life.
Nice.
Where we are offering our viewers for free. Just have to comment, comment, subscribe. Make sure that you leave your email address. We'd love to share that document with you. That document is exactly that, Zandra.
Oh, nice.
It speaks to where your policies are. Yes. What are the passwords for the laptops?
Yes.
What are the passwords for your pins? Yes. I mean, for your phones. All these things, even for your bank cards.
Yes.
Even for your bank cards.
And the silly thing is, like, sorry to interrupt you. It's like the silly thing is like the cars were breaking down. Yeah. And I was like, he used to take it to the mechanic. I don't know what the mechanic is. But silly things like that say, in the event of, like, this file can be anything, and it is what I have, and I have everything, and they're saying business.
This is a contact person.
This is contact. These are my, and I know it sounds silly, but it will help the person who's left behind to say, okay, at least,
you know where to start.
Yes,
you know where to start.
So it's a very, very good thing, and I wish we had that at that time, because it would have been a easier transition. It doesn't make it easier grieving wise, but
from the internal pain, but the process itself, and in making sure that you do a bit of cleanup, you know where to start, you know what to do. All of that could have been easier,
and everything
because you could have just went to that file,
yes.
and you would know what to do. So I personally have completed that form myself.
Okay.
And I'll get you a copy,
please.
I'll definitely share a copy with you as well, and duplicate whatever you've already done. But I think now in a certain structure that we have put together, that is one of the things that I had to implement, because now I thought, my daughter, she might be 8, but she's one of the smartest kids.
She is. Oh, your daughter's amazing.
And she had me talk about doing all the changes on my will and everything else. And she was asking to say, Mama, if something happens to you now, what's going to happen to the house?
Yes.
What's going to happen to me?
Yes. And she's 8.
And she's 8.
Yes.
And I realized that she understands the fact that
Nice.
mommy now can actually live.
And I like, sorry to interrupt you, I like what you're saying is because we're focusing on husbands, but also the kids.
Yes.
Educate the kids.
Let's
like everybody,
educate
it
the
should be a
kids.
family matter where you can say, guys,
Yes. This is the
you
situation.
know, this is the situation.
Should something happens to me,
Openly talk about it.
Openly
and I
talk
think
about
that's
it.
our biggest thing. We don't openly. I think because also like culture and society teaches us tomorrow will see for itself. But you can see it's not working.
no, it's not working.
No, it's not.
It's not working because I can't imagine what other fellow widows are going through.
Yes.
Because some of them are not coming out to have these kind of conversations. Some people are even scared to say, who actually can I go talk to? Because now I'm experiencing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I just want to give you this opportunity, viewers, to say, at Space to Breathe, come, let us have conversations. I have professionals that can assist you. I have people that can assist you. I'm not saying that I've got all the solutions, but I'm just saying that let's help you. Wherever you are, whatever corner that you're at, we are here to help you. This space is actually meant for that.
Yes.
For you to come here to breathe, not just only talking, but practically doing certain things to help you find your space to breathe again. Because, you know, when you talk about that house, to say you got to your house and you couldn't breathe.
Yes.
That's where the whole space to breathe come from, by the way,
Yes.
because after the funeral of my husband, I got back home. And a minute I went inside and I closed the door because it was just me and my daughter.
Yes. Reality hit.
Reality hit.
Yes.
And then when it hits, you are sitting with a situation whereby you are suffocating. I actually went to the whole house and I opened all the windows, but I was still suffocating.
It's the same thing that happened to me.
I opened all the doors.
That's why I left.
I was suffocating.
Because I couldn't breathe. The windows were open, but I felt like everything is closing. Like
Yes.
In, and I said, I have to get, and I left. And I said, and since that time, I'm renting it out now.
Sure.
Like, I'm not going there.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But if I maybe had a support system like this at that time that says, not a person, because there's a difference between sympathy and empathy. Yeah. People who haven't gone through, people have experienced death, but people haven't experienced being a widow. But empathy is you and I. You see, we can relate.
Yeah.
I know, you know,
Yeah.
we can have that conversation. And I think it would have been nice if I had a support group at that time that we don't go and pity each other,
Yes.
but uplift each other.
Yes.
And also learn from each other, because I also don't want to find myself around people that are negative all the time.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you can't sit in one
that's,
place.
that's not the energy that we need.
No, you can't sit in one place forever.
Yeah.
We need to keep
Yeah.
going.
Yeah.
You need to keep going. There's life out
Yeah.
there. You get what I'm
100%.
saying?
Yeah.
So it would have been nice to have that support system that's where you can see, oh, Noni's done it. You get what I'm saying? Now you
Yeah.
can see Zandra's done it.
Yeah.
It's 7 years later.
Yes, and here she is.
She's okay.
She's okay. What can I learn from her?
Yes.
What are the things that Zandra can share with me so that I can be able to do it?
Yes.
Am I in business? Am I working? What is
Yes.
it that I need to do?
But even now with you, I can also learn and say, oh, okay. Because you never know. I could, you
Yeah.
know, things
Yeah.
could happen. And I could also say, oh, okay, I could do this differently. I could do that.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying?
Because each and every journey is different.
Yes.
And every grief is very different.
Yes.
And those are the things that probably sometimes people don't understand.
Yes.
They feel that, and I mean, I think I did pick up one of the comments on a TikTok video that I did.
Yes.
Where people are commenting to say, yo, I know your pain because I lost my mom. And I said, it's I did not respond. But
Yes.
when I'm now sitting, I'm saying it's not the same.
But you're not being insensitive.
Yeah.
Because I think also sometimes when we respond in a certain way, people feel like maybe you're being insensitive. It's not. Yes, it is grief. But even like I wouldn't know I have my mother. You know?
Yes.
I have a friend that also lost her mother. And she says, Zandra, you know, I actually miss the arguments. And I'm like, yo, my mother works on my nerves, man.
At this point in
At
time.
this point in time.
Yeah.
And she says, no, but don't say that because I don't have a mother. You get what I'm saying? So can you see that's where I can sympathize with her, but I can't empathize with her. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
And in this regard, it's the same thing. So it's exactly what you're saying. You're saying she lost a mother, I lost a husband. It's death,
Yeah.
but the grief
is different.
is different.
Yeah. The difference is,
And it's okay for it to be that
and the
way.
impact is also different.
Yes.
And we're not taking away from the fact that you've lost somebody that you
Yes.
loved as well.
Yes.
And those are the things that I also want to share to say. The space to breathe is just yes, right now I'm saying maybe the key focus is about widows because we are experiencing this journey of being a widowhood. But end of the day, we are all going through a lot, and certain things, it has certain impact. Having to lose a mom, where now there's a house, there's all those things you are a beneficiary. It's the same process that you're gonna go through, you know. And those are the things that you viewers out there. With time, we'll make opportunities whereby we'll share about other processes on how do you go about getting help whenever you're going through experience of what do you do when you're experiencing a funeral? What do you do when there's no will? What are the documents you need to get the letter of authority to make sure that all these things is winded up and so forth. So those are the conversations that we're going to have. So Zandra, thank you so much for coming through. We really, really appreciate your time. I just want you to have one statement or one key thing that you want to share with the fellow widows out there. Even the women that have not lost their husband as yet.
Yes.
What is that one key advice that you want to give to our viewers?
It's okay not to be okay.
Yeah.
I think that's most important, and also take it one step at a time, but also ultimately focus on independence within your marriage so that you can't experience what we experience. But if you are currently going through it, it's okay. It's happened. It's not nice, but God and ancestors will carry you through it. They did it for me. They're going to do it for Noni, and they'll definitely do it for you. And like Noni also said, this is a support system where if you need any sort of support or anything like that, we are here to help you as well. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Zandra.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, family, for really joining us on this episode. Don't forget to subscribe, to like, to share, to comment. For those that are looking for that book life document, I don't know. My younger people, they've given this name, but I don't know what it's called. But I will go with the life book of book
What did
life.
the younger ones
There was a name that they gave me. I'm like, oh. But I'm just gonna go with the book of life for now, just to make it easy. Just write book of life, and then you put your email address next to that, so that we can be able to share that with you.
That's nice.
Please make sure that you subscribe, you share, and you like, and you comment. Thank you so much, viewers, and have a lovely day. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yes.